Hello, Helen here. Welcome to my channel and the first card for 2021. At the end of last year I bought myself a few more of Altenew floral stamp sets, and this one called Beauty Within came with a co-ordinating stencil that you do the colouring of the flower with, so I bought it so that I could have a go at it and see how they work. I rather like one of the colour combinations that's in the inspiration sheets with the stamp set, so I'm going to use those colours, some nice pinks and greys for the leaves. The stencil comes with 3 different sheets of stencils that does the 2 layers on 2 of the flowers and then 2 sets of the leaves. The colours I'm going to be using are out of the Northern Lights Altenew set, and then I'm going to use the greys out of the Rock collection for the leaves instead of green this time. I'm going to stamp a few of the flowers and some of the leaves with Versafine Onyx black ink on the Nina Solar White cardstock. I'm not sure how many flowers I'm going to need for my arrangement, and I don't realise that the stencil only does 2 of the flowers, so I stamped all 3, but I'll just use that for another project at some stage. So I'm just stamping enough and probably more than I need, and then I'll have a go at doing the stenciling with the inks. Now, using these stencils for the first time, I found it quite difficult to find out where they lined up on the actual flower stamp. It didn't come with any instructions like the stamps do, so I had to play around a little bit, but I worked out that it's actually the centre that is an unusual shape, and you can see where there's a little dip, and you make sure that you line that up each time and you got the stencils in the right place, so that made it a lot easier. Some of the stencils are quite close to each other, so I ended up using some post-it notes to just cover over where a new stencil started, just so that I didn't get ink on my stamping where I didn't want it. I did end up getting in a few places, but it didn't matter because I was going to fussy cut them out anyway. So I start off by doing the first layer of the flower stencils with Puffy Heart. Oh no, it wasn't, it was Rose Quartz. And then the second layer I used Puffy Heart and I used my one of my blending brushes, and it worked really well on the stencils. It just gave a nice soft blend. For the second layer of the stencil I ended up using a sponge dauber just because the area was quite small, and I felt that the bigger brush was probably going to be too big. It may have been alright, but I think I might invest in some of the mini brushes that Altenew have that are the same, because they really do blend very nicely, but the bigger one was just really a little bit too big. I ended up cleaning the stencil in between doing each of the flowers because I didn't want to get ink where I didn't really want it. I cleaned them with a baby wipe, but you've got to be very, very careful, especially the inner part, because it's got some really delicate little pieces and you can snag them and bend them very easily. So I ended up just dabbing it really and getting as much ink off as I possibly could before doing the next flower. This is where I discovered there was a 3rd layer to the flower, so I ended up using the 3rd stamp in that set, which is called Purple Wine, and did that, and it definitely, the last colour definitely brings the whole thing to life. Just beautiful. When I took the stencil off, I was really pleased with how the ink blending looked. It really does make the flower very pretty, and it's a very quick and easy way of doing the colouring if you don't particularly like doing colouring or painting or pencil colouring or any of those kinds of things. It really was quite a quick way of adding colour to the stamp. So, and apparently you can use them without the stamps as well, so they are quite a good investment. I went ahead and did the stenciling for the leaves with the greys, and then I'm going to stamp my sentiment towards the top of a card panel with Versamark sticky ink and then gold embossing powder. And while I've got that out, the inks and the embossing powder out, I'm going to pat some of the Versamark ink onto a piece of scrap card and put gold embossing powder on that, and I'm going to heat emboss both of them, and then I'm going to cut a circle frame out of the gold piece of card that I've created, and I'm going to use that as a ring to go in amongst my flowers for my arrangement on the card. Apologies, I hadn't realised my camera memory was full, and so it stopped recording when I came to do the heat embossing, so I've missed that part. Sorry about that. Now that I've got all my flowers and leaves fussy cut out, and I've also cut 2 size rings because I wasn't sure what size I was going to want, I can now start playing around with an arrangement. So I just play around with them and look at whether I want 3 flowers or 2 flowers, poke in some leaves, I'll poke in the ring and just see what comes up, see how it looks and whether I like it or not. I'm going to glue all the leaves and the ring down direct with some liquid glue. I'm going to raise the 2 flowers up with some foam tape, and I'll just have one slightly overlapping the other, just to give a little bit of dimension on the card. I'll pop the leftover leaf and flower aside to put on another card. It'll look really pretty on another card. And I usually have a bowl of little bits and pieces that I have left over so that I can go make quick cards at a later stage. So the last thing I'm going to do is put some flat back pearls just dotted around just to pretty it up a little bit, and then the card will be finished. I'm not sure if I like the grey leaves with the pink flowers or not. I really like the pink flowers, but I guess it's good to do something different, isn't it? Thanks for watching the video. Please like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell if you'd like to know when I upload the next video, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.